No sooks, no lefties. That's the way that we like it. Don't forget, we've got this little event happening next Tuesday, the first time and only confirmed that the leaders will be in the same place at the same time. Tuesday night, the results, by the way, here on Paul Murray Live, 9 o'clock Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Bronwyn Bishop, Gary Hardgrave, well, they've been in and out of the election, not just on his show on 4BC, not just in the streets, but they're in it tonight, and there's plenty to talk about with both of them. I'm so glad that they are here. But before I get to that, can we talk about this school in Sydney that's decided it's okay if you don't want to attend the Anzac Day services? Now, Bronwyn, I do not understand how officials at the New South Wales Education Department have not come down and said, no, not happening. You have to turn up. Why is this happening?
Unfortunately, the left of politics, socialists, really like to break down the social fabric of the culture of a nation. It's innate in the nature of their politics. Now, in this particular instance, what should be the case is when Anzac Day is commemorated, and we're commemorating the dead and those who served, that it is compulsory to turn up. If a parent withholds their child, and that's in defiance, not because it has been sanctioned. A big difference between those two things.
Correct.
And it is important, in my view, that we do really kick up a big stink about it because it's part of our culture. This is when we, as a nation, we commemorate Gallipoli because that's the time, as a nation, we went to war.
Yeah.
Yes, we had, as a nation, we had troops there in the Boer War, and that was important too. But Gallipoli was such a dramatic thing to happen to us that it set the tone that we will always say thank you to those people who will put their lives on the line without questioning.
Absolutely. And I mean, Gary,
they love their country.
What I love here is nobody woke up today thinking that this was something that we'd have to talk about. But if you do talk about it, like we talk about it, we're involved in a culture war.
Well, and we should be waging one if that is the case, Paul. These kids should want to go there. They should actually understand the backstory that Bronwyn just talked about. It's incredibly important kids understand that everything in Australia today has been won off the effort of those willing to shed blood for us. We should pay tribute to all of those. 20 years ago today, that dreadful accident that occurred up in Indonesia as they were on a humanitarian mission. We lost 9 personnel, 6 out of the Navy, 3 out of the Air Force. I mean, we should not forget anybody who's fallen in our name in other places. And so the kids should want to go. And so this is a fundamental failure of our education system. It's a fundamental failure, frankly, of a Prime Minister who's forgotten what the Australian flag looks like and prefers to use other flags to actually divide Australia. And so this sort of division is hurting us. And our kids are better than this, Paul. Most kids are. The few that aren't draw attention to themselves and they can be dealt with. But this is borderline sedition that's going on here, and we should call it out for what it is, treachery to brand Australia, our nation, our heritage and everything we stand for.
Yeah, with you. Let's see where this is in 24 hours. Premier Minns, Deputy Premier Prue Carr and Education Minister. Let's see where you are, let alone where the Prime Minister and Peter Dutton get asked anything. But, of course, it'll all be Trump in the next 24 hours. Bronwyn, let's talk realistically. Can Trump sink Peter Dutton and the Liberal Party if the next couple of weeks is nothing but the Prime Minister and the media trying to turn this election, as opposed to our government, but turning it into a personality and popularity contest with a bloke that we know the majority of Australians don't like?
Look, I think there are a couple of important points to make here, that the tariff question is masking what is the real issues we're being faced with. We've got a Prime Minister who's prepared to be all macho, or pretend to be macho, about taking on Trump's tariffs, but is not prepared to stand up to the Chinese leader of the Communist Party that wants to expand in our region.
And their interference in our elections.
Correct. And yet he's not prepared to stand up to that. Now, they are actually doing things in a military way that is harming our personnel.
Yep.
The aircraft that was had the
The shards thrown into it.
Attack.
Yep,
It's an
absolutely.
attack. I'm going to call it that because that's what it was,
Yep.
which could have killed them.
Yep.
The naval man who was diving, who was injured as a result of
Correct.
those
The sonic boom, yep.
boom being carried out. So, and the joking commentary that the Prime Minister makes about the reconnaissance or research ship, not a spy ship.
Please.
Well, please tell me, if you're a spy, aren't you doing reconnaissance and research?
And sort
I
of
thought so.
it pretends that what we're doing in and around the South China Sea,
so-
it's all the same.
No, it's not. So we've got that problem. Now, with regard to tariffs, the best response to that is how can we assist our people who are going to be affected by them, give them an offset. The best thing you can possibly do in the world is lower energy costs for them.
Agree.
That would literally take the edge off the tariff. That is something you can do immediately. It's like Mr Dutton's promise to halve the tax on petrol. And understand, an excise is a tax.
It's a tax.
That's
It's
exactly
a fuel
what it
tax.
is.
Exactly.
It's just a sort of tax that it is. So that's an immediate thing. So when we come to the failure of the Prime Minister to stand up to Xi, it leaves a nasty taste in the mouth when Xi then comes out and says, oh, well, we back Albanese. Now, would you have thought perhaps that it was calculated that if they were apologistic and apologising for the actions of the Chinese, that they just might get that reaction? Do you think that's possible?
Well, but also they realise, right? You stand up to them, head on the spike. You give them what they want. Keep them going, and we know that there's different ways that message gets
But
communicated.
in the meantime, we're losing sovereignty.
Absolutely. And Gary, your sense about this here, because I mean, you've already heard the talking points. I've already shown you the media obsession.
Yep.
We know where this goes, and is it going to blow the libs off course?
Peter Dutton's just got to be Peter Dutton. The real Peter Dutton actually is a very attractive commodity. Peter Dutton will stand up for Australia. You know, it's interesting the point Bronwyn makes about the Chinese because they sought permission and got it from the New Zealand government for that same research vessel to be in New Zealand waters. Wow. And yet this Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, says he didn't know about it. But I think he's lying about it just as much as he's lied about the price of power going down, just as much as he's lied about everything he promised to do. This bloke is just a perennial liar. And I know people in politics are often badged that way, but this fellow, I think, has not told the truth. He's not told the truth. The Chinese sought permission from New Zealand, but didn't seek permission from us. He's got a problem with Beijing if they haven't rung him up the way that Wellington got a phone call from Beijing. So, look, you know, all of this is just subterfuge. Paul, your editorial was spot on. This is all about creating a bigger lie to cover all of their lies. And the reality is this. Are you better off than you were 3 years ago? If the answer is yes, you vote Labor. If it's not, you just vote against Labor. This mob should be turfed out and in big numbers. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've got 90 seconds, so 45 each here. John Howard, pretty clear today when he was talking about that Anthony Albanese is out of his depth. Did you agree?
Well, of course I did. I mean, I think I've been saying similar things all along. Was a very succinct way of putting it. But I think we also need to put accent on the things that are in the Parliament now, which have been rejected to date, like nature positive.
Yes.
Like having a tax placed on capital gains tax placed on unrealised capital gains. And that, incidentally, is an idea they pinched from Kamala Harris because that was part of her policy, tax unrealised capital gains. Yeah. So don't tell me that they're an original and looking after Australians. They're not.
Well, Gary's already ready to do an outside broadcast when Kamala rolls into the Gold Coast in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, sure. No, not. Thank you. But look, either way, she'll need an auto cue wherever she goes, you know, a device in front of her so she can read her script, but and laugh here sort of thing. Look, the thing is that John Howard is a patriot, continues to be. Peter Dutton wants to be like John Howard. Australia will be well served with Peter Dutton as Prime Minister. I hope he gets there. It's a long way to go. Get busy, people. Get busy, I say.
That's it. Fight, fight, fight. It's the way it goes. Thank you, guys. Do appreciate it. We'll see you all again very soon. Gary, of course.